Hey guys, what's up? I hope you are in the mood for some TVZ because it is a best of three series between AcerNerchio and Empire's Happy from the Zotac Cup, which did happen on the 10th, I do believe. And I feel like when these two teams face off, it is like Team Zerg versus Team Terran. What I mean by this is if you look at the lineups of both of these teams, Acer has lots of Zergs like Nerchio, Bly, Scarlet. They did pick up MMA recently, but still mostly Zerg lineup. And Empire, on the other hand, they have the sickest macro Terrans in Europe, if not the whole world. They have players like Happy, Beastie Cutie, Cass. I do believe they have one Protoss on their lineup. I do forget his name right now, but they are mostly Terran. And just as a spectator, I do feel like TVZ is kind of like the signature matchup in StarCraft 2 right now. It has been since the release. It's such a badass matchup. It's the humans versus the bug aliens, and it just reminds me of Starship Troopers so much. When the Zerglings and Ultralisks and Infestors are trying to swarm the Terran army, and the Terran has his tanks sieged up, bunkers ready, planetary fortress right there, and kind of tries to deflect the oncoming swarm of the Zerg, and it's just so badass to watch. And I'm just so excited to get into this game. EmpireHappy. He is spawning as the blue Terran on the top right side, and Nerchio, the red Zerg, spawning in the bottom left position. The map is Daybreak, and really epic map for an epic matchup. Daybreak is characterized by its ability to be split across the middle, splitting the map into, both sides getting up to 5 bases quite nicely. And Terran has a really nice time defending their fourth once it does get secured here, because you have that watchtower sieging up tanks here, putting some buildings in the way to start creating some sort of sim city. Once that gets established, the Terran has a really nice time defending it. And if you secure this location, that pretty much covers all your bases. It is, this path to the third is slightly open, but as long as you spread your units a bit here, you can putting down a sensor tower maybe, you can spot any sort of attacks going into the third base. And it does look like Empire's Happy, as usual, is going for a CC after barracks into a double gas. It's so standard from Terrans these days. And Nerchio, on the other hand, did go for a 15 hatch into a 16 pool, I do believe. 2 queens are on the way straight away. A pair of lings is coming out to scout out what this Terran is doing. And I'm just excited to see who comes out on top, in a big map like this. Macro styles are just so powerful, and macro games are where the better player come out. EmpireHappy opting to put his bunker right here. This does allow him to wall off in between his ramp and his command center quite nicely. 1 supply depot should cover this. And I feel like 2 supply depots over here, maybe even a barracks or a 3 hex building over here to make his wall even beefier. But Terrans really need to kind of depend on their ability to defend nicely with their building placements, because if you 1-racks expand into a reactor Hellion, you're quite susceptible. I mean, look at this, he has 1 Marine at 5 minutes. That's all he has. Sorry, 2, but this one is patrolling for any sort of Overlord Scout, and the Zerglings do go in. Looks like they are going to get into the main because only 1 Marine was in that bunker. He does need to pull that 2nd Marine to try and take these Zerglings out. But I mean, the Zerglings scouting this is really nice for Nerchio. He doesn't have to float in a Overlord anytime soon. You can kind of save that for later scouts. And he did scout the Hellion opener for the Terran, but he doesn't know what's following this up. It could be a starport. It does look like it is going to be a 2nd factory. So it does look like it is going to be a Blue Flame Hellion opener for Empire's Happy. What he is going to do is probably move out on the map with around 4 Hellions, kind of hide the fact that he has Blue Flame, and build up a bunch of Hellions in his natural, hide them, even maybe in his main, to try and prevent the Zerg from realizing how many Hellions are actually on the map. Because this map is actually a little hard to start walling off as the Zerg. It does look like AcerNerchio is opting to go for the double Evo chamber here with a double queen block, so it does look like he gets a really effective wall off. Excuse me. But with this third going down, as long as he doesn't saturate this, I feel like he should be safe against this Bluefin Hellion timing that EmpireHappy is trying to hit. A Roach Horn is going down behind this, and yeah, we'll see what happens though. It's still, it's kind of up to Happy to make something happen right now. He is not behind by any means, as long as he throws on a third CC sometime soon. And the Hellions do go into the third position, scouting that there is a third base here. They do look like they're going to target down the larva to prevent Nerchio from trying to use it, but it does look like the Queen does push away the Hellions. It's actually a really nice thing to do, trying to take out some of the larva at the third base when it is exposed, because that's just less larva that will become drones, and it does in effect damage the Zerg economy, and the Hellions do spot that there is a wall off here in the front. Third CC does go down behind this. I wonder if Happy's still going to commit to some sort of Hellion run by, because right now Nerchio is looking pretty much Hellion proof. His third is slightly exposed, but it doesn't look like he is rallying any drones over there, and the Spore Crawler is going down in the main just for safety. It looks like the Hellion train is moving out onto the map. If Happy can get some drone kills with this, he should be in a pretty nice position. As long as these don't die without killing anything, they should be in pretty good position. Blue Flame has finished these roaches and queens. We're trying to deflect the Hellions, but it does look like they all get roasted up. Really nice animation there. Happy doesn't even try to go into the natural here. He knows that that wall off is there. He does pick up a few drones there, but it does look like he is going to try and target this Queen down with the Hellions. The Queen does go down, but a Roach is there. It doesn't quite get the full wall off. Nerchio is pulling away his drones. He needs to be careful not to line up all nice hits onto these drones, but the Hellion count is dwindling really rapidly right now, and they do get into the main. It looks like they will get some more drone kills. Let's have a look at how many drones did actually go down there. 20 drones went down. I feel like that was worth it for EmpireHappy. Hellions, that was a lot of Hellions. Hellions do cost 100 minerals each, so that was not, that wasn't like he didn't lose very much resources, but it does look like Nerchio did lose more. He lost 2 queens, a bunch of roaches as well, and it does look like Happy is going for the mech composition. So, the thing about mech is that the only thing wait a minute, it does look like a bunch of roaches are moving in to do some sort of a counterattack for Nerchio, and it does look like the wall is not complete here, but the tank does ward these roaches away. Happy floating and landing those, and looks like a nice Hellion run by is in the third at the same time. Happy knew that these roaches were here, so he sends 4 Hellions around the back to try and get as many kills as they can. They also look like they get 14 more kills, but the supply lead is in Nerchio's favor. It does look like he is going double Spire. This is actually no, only 1 Spire. Okay, so anyways, it's still a really nice transition for the Zerg, because as a meching Terran, what you want to have is a nice tank count, and that is what he's going to be building, especially in this early stages of the mid game. So catching the Terran off guard with a nice muta transition from the roaches could do him quite well, getting some really nice SCV kills, as well as picking off a bunch of tanks, maybe even picking off some of the tech like an armory or the add-ons. That could put AcerNerchio in a really nice position, and as of now, it does look like he has rebuilt most of his drones, but actually I feel like they are in quite equal position right now, because, the Terran hasn't been able to secure his third just because of the large roach count, and that's a smart move by EmpireHappy, because he doesn't want his units to be spread out too thinly. It does look like he is popping out 1 Thor as well as 2 Vikings. Starting that Viking production early on into the game is a nice move, because a lot of Zergs, what they like to do is rush for a hive tech army, and a lot of the time Broodlords is the tech path of choice for these Zergs, and it does look like a nice Hellion run by. It does get into the natural of these Zergs. EmpireHappy's been so diligent with his Hellions, and he gets a bunch more kills. I believe that was 8 more drone kills, for 3 Hellions. That is just so worth it. But it does look like the Mutalisks are out on the field. 1 Thor should be enough, with repairs to ward these. Oh, it does look like he has 2 Thors out, and Nerchio needs to be careful not to waste these mutas. They're sticking around for way too long. I feel like it does look like they do try to get some SCV kills, but EmpireHappy does a nice thing of auto repairing them onto each other. So I don't think he lost. He lost 3 workers, but that's not a big deal at all for the Terran right now. The good thing for Nerchio is though the mutas are out, so EmpireHappy is gonna have an even harder time securing his third base. You know, roaches together with mutas, they do a really nice job of forcing the Terran to split his army apart. It looks like Muta does go down for free there. He does try to target down that supply depot, but the turret was there to ward away the mutas. And it looks like Happy is opting to secure his third base now. Look, his ventral sacks as well as +2 missile attacks are out on the way for Nerchio, so it does look like Nerchio is planning to do some roach drops. And that could be really nice on a map like this where the third is so far away from the main, and the main has so much surface area for drops. If some roaches can get into the main at the same time doing some double-pronged attacks at the third. Happy needs to be really effective with the splitting of his army. But it does look like EmpireHappy does have his Vikings out, so if he can spot this Overlord drop prematurely, he should be able to pick off some of the Overlords, but it does look like empty Overlords are leading the pack. And I wonder where Nerchio is going to drop with this. If he could drop onto the army, because this is a max roach army being dropped on top of the Terran mech army. It does look like Happy doesn't spot it at all, and the roaches are just going to be dropped straight onto this army. Tanks, I feel like, need to be unsieged right now. The splash damage is going to do Happy less good than it does bad, and the roaches are just doing such a nice job of picking off the majority of the tanks. 2 tanks are here. The SCVs were pulled to do some auto repair. It does look like the Terran might be able to hold on here with some auto repairs. The Thor looks like is going to get DPS down, but not before taking out a big number of roaches, and the auto repair is being so effective right now. It allowed that Thor to be so much more cost effective than it is. But Nerchio at 100 supply lead right now, reproducing a lot of his roaches. He is on 5 bases right now, and the mech army has been dwindled down to just a few tanks, a few Vikings, and a single Hellion. The SCV count has dropped to 39. The 4th CC is finished, but I feel like Happy might just die to this secondary wave of roaches, because there is no wall off at the third. There is nothing the tanks can hide behind. These roaches are just gonna do really nice job, and it looks like Happy decides to evacuate his third. Really nice choice on his part. He can lift this orbital when the roaches try and target that down. And this is a much better position for the Terran to start defending. I mean, Happy won't die right now, but I feel like he is going to get starved out. Another nice Hellion run by running into the 4th base of the Zerg. But at this point, with 75 drones out on the field, Nerchio doesn't care too much about those drones. He can reproduce them really nicely. 15 more drones are coming out. The Greater Spire is out on the way. And, with this 100 supply lead from Nerchio, I feel like he can be pretty fine against any sort of push that Happy may want to do. And, Happy's natural is nearly mined out. His main has some minerals left, but, he really needs that 3rd base, because mech is just so good at that 3 base economy. And Nerchio has been really good at just kind of denying that 3rd base, keep doing damage, killing off a lot of workers. 21 workers killed. Is a lot for the Terran, because reproducing those SCVs is just so hard, and it does look like Nerchio is opting to go for a second drop onto the mech army, and with this Corruptor supporting those Overlords, these Vikings are just not going to be able to do any sort of damage to those Overlords, and looks like the roaches are going to drop into the natural end main of the Terran, and the SCVs are being pulled out again, trying to repair this wall, but the wall does get DPS down by the units there. EmpireHappy does need to reposition his army really nicely. The roaches in the main, there's so many roaches in the main right now. They're doing so well. They're going to be able to pick off a bunch of factories. Any sort of units popping out of the factories do get taken out straight away. And I feel like EmpireHappy should GG out any time here now. Blue Lords are out on the way behind this right here. And I don't know what Happy can do from here. He tried to go for a mech, but Nerchio just kind of saw right through it after that Hellion run by. and did a really nice job of rebuilding his drones. And with that counter attack of a drop, Nerchio just did way too much damage to Happy, and he just didn't let the mech army build up because mech in the small numbers is just not that great against roaches or broodlords for that matter. The broodlords are starting to siege up the third base, and I feel like Happy is starting to realize his chances in this game are just so slim right now. A bunch of corruptors here to support the broodlords, and it does look like EmpireHappy does GG out of game number 1. I will be moving into game 2 really soon, so I hope you guys check that one out as well. See you guys soon.